Hello there. So do you have a pattern of losing your words? So you could be communicating and then maybe you become a little thick-headed and you start losing track and the words stop coming out, but it's like a feeling of almost becoming stupid or frozen or wooden or just clumsy when you're expressing yourself. A lot of people have this pattern, and I've worked with a ton of people who lose their words. And this can be incredibly debilitating. In other words, you could be a good communicator, a real clear communicator, let's just say, when you feel safe. And that could be with close friends or with your family, your close family, something like that. But then as soon as you find yourself in a challenging situation or in a group situation or a leadership situation, from time to time, you will become thick-headed. You basically will become very clumsy expressing yourselves. Potentially you'll even forget what you were saying and lose your place, not really even know what you were talking about. It can be a kind of a crazy, dizzy, somewhat dissociative feeling, and it can wreak havoc on your work life, in your professional life, and in your family life too. This is a big pattern that I see from time to time, and it can be career limiting for the person involved. It can lead to them developing long-term patterns of actually not speaking up because it's not worth the risk of me humiliating myself. Before we go any further, I want to ask you to please like this video if you find this content interesting, and to subscribe to this channel to get these episodes first if this material is relevant to you. So let's jump in. What am I going to do if I lose my words? The first step is to understand the nervous system aspect of this. And this is quite a complex one. So I'm going to do a little bit of polyvagal theory here, so just bear with me, because if this is your issue, it's really helpful to understand this in order to get a grip on it. So what happens with a system like this that loses its words is that there's ultimately an anxiety response going on here, but I'm going to say it's got two steps. So if we're feeling comfortable, calm, regulated in our bodies, chilled when communicating with others, we're in what's called our ventral vagal nervous system. That is the juicy, lovely place from which we feel safe to connect with others. It's a magnificent state, and ideally we should be in our ventral vagal all the time. However, if you've got this pattern or any other kind of communication pattern that struggles around others, what'll happen is there'll be first, let's call it a ramp up into anxiety, into fight or flight. So that's your sympathetic nervous system switching on, glucose flooding to your muscles, and you're becoming tense, you might be sweaty, your heart rate's up, your ability to think goes down. So already inside the anxiety response, it's not the ideal place to kind of connect with people and win friends and influence people, right? Now the special extra bit is some of us will then flop over from this sympathetic nervous system response up into what's called our freeze response. And this is an inbuilt mammal response. We move from our sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, into freeze. And freeze is kind of a special state. It's designed to help us when we're helpless. So you can imagine a lion chasing a zebra, and the zebra thinks about fighting for a second. It's like, hell no, I'm going to run. Starts running, sympathetic nervous system hyperventilating, heart rate up. Then if the lion catches the zebra, then the zebra might fight for a little bit, and then at a particular point, if you watch this on nature documentaries, the zebra will stop struggling. It's not dead yet. It's moved into a freeze response. It's nature's kind of pain-relieving, numbing state. Within a freeze response, our body is pumped full of pain-relieving chemicals. We may feel very helpless and numb and dissociated and all kinds of things, and a little bit dreamy. And this is where in communication systems, tongue-tiedness comes in. So I can't express myself properly. Inability to think, I'm kind of woolly and dissociated and so on. And I find that a lot of people have got inbuilt embedded freeze responses in their communication system, lodged in there. So recognize that it is a nervous system state, and we need to get out of freeze. We need to get out of fight or flight too. So our first step is to recognize what's going on with us, becoming an artist at regulating ourselves out of freeze and fight or flight states into ventral vagal calm. Okay, that was a big step number one. Recognize where you are and do the work of regulating the nervous system using breathing, tapping, and any number of tools. You'll find some tools listed at the end of this video up top. I'll refer to some other videos that I share and episodes that I share where you can learn more about how to regulate. The second step is to decondition the pattern. So you will have developed a lifelong relationship with yourself, clamming up, losing your words. You're going to have potentially shame, remorse, self-judgment, fear, all of this locked into also memories of doing it over time. It could have started late in your life, but these patterns generally originate from our childhood and school years, and we want to decondition that pattern because it's a clump of experiences, emotions, thoughts, beliefs about ourselves, and it's like a nest or a spider's web or something with a clump of stuff in it, and we want to start dismantling this thing because otherwise this wiring, this patterning, this reality inside us just whoop, it just happens, and there I am, tongue-tied all over again. I use deconditioning tools like EFT and some cognitive processes, and you could potentially work with your support practitioner if you have one, or just keep following this channel and work with me if you wish. But whatever way you go, decondition the pattern. Don't let it render you incoherent and then feeling remorseful afterwards. So step number 3 is, as I've mentioned frequently on this channel and on this blog, is dismantle the shame pattern afterwards. Most of us, when we've expressed ourselves poorly, go into a remorseful, self-judgmental, embarrassed space, and it's a horrible feeling in the body. Shame, remorse, regret, I'm the worst. And that state that we get into afterwards is part of what keeps this whole cycle in place. So we need to, as soon as we have expressed ourselves less optimally, get into doing some deep work to forgive ourselves, be like, hey, I just rambled a little bit. Or, hey, I lost my words. You know what? I got some trauma. I don't always do it perfectly, but I totally love and adore myself just as I am. We've got to get out of that, I'm the worst, and into a place of self-acceptance and love. So clean up afterwards. Clean up the shame hangover. On that note, and I keep repeating this, I'm going to keep repeating this forever, work across the timeline. I teach this within my Radiant Voices process, and a huge component of dismantling this pattern is dealing with the ramping anxiety before you have to speak. There's something going on in your body where we were calm and then we get more and more tense leading up to speaking to a partner or a business meeting or a presentation or a client meeting or whatever else it is. Don't let that anxiety ramp. Don't arrive there like this. Don't arrive there frozen. Do some work to get grounded, aligned, present, heart-centered, so that you're arriving like a little ball of light or like your grounded best self. Don't arrive already crumpled up and ready to run out the door, okay? Don't arrive frozen. And if this is you with this pattern, just know that this is a self-expression trauma pattern. It's stuck in your system. It doesn't have to be stuck in your system. You can totally clear this. If it seems unbelievable to you, I'm going to be stuck with this for the rest of my life, go and have a look at some testimonials on my website and just read about people who changed this, who just took the steps to do what they needed to do to clear this. You don't have to be stuck with this. My heart goes deeply out to you if you have been stuck in this, but just know that you can do all the things. You can gather your confidence. And I want to say that that's the promise of this work. Everyone has the capacity and the ability to overcome this kind of patterning and express themselves with heart, with authenticity, with clarity and authority, and just in a way that feels kind of yummy in their body. I like to say in this work that the promise is that we can feel safe and confident and a little bit juicy in our own skin when communicating with each other, with delivering a speech in front of 100 people, or just talking to the internet with no idea who's watching, and just to be ourselves and feel safe to just do all the things and see what happens and not have to be perfect. Whichever way you go in this, I'm sending a huge amount of love and just wishing you the best possible day.